Hey everybody, it's Jeff Antoniuk. Welcome to the Digging Deeper Jazz series. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about 5-minute jazz abs. And don't worry, I'm not going to lift up my shirt. We're not going to do any sit-ups or anything like this. But we're all so busy, right? We're trying to find out what's the best way to practice. What should I include? What should I exclude? What if I have only 5 minutes to practice today? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. I've been doing this stuff for 30 years, and with the adult students that I work so much with, these folks don't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. I got a family, I'm busy, working, everything else. So we're trying to find out what would keep our brain engaged, what gets us improvising better in a short amount of time. Well, I've had 3 decades to figure it out, and I have a great idea for you today. It's sort of a combination of half note soloing and voice leading, but it's kind of slick the way we get into it. It's really easy, it's really fun. Well, these videos, as always, are sponsored by Gonzalez Reeds. That's what I got right there. For some of you that have seen some of the preceding 50 videos, I think I might be holding a soprano saxophone for the first time. I play soprano all the time, but for whatever reason, haven't picked one up for these videos. So I'm gonna play a little soprano for you today. All right. So all of you folks have some experience with studying jazz and private teachers, and some of you have gone to university, some of you have gone to jazz camps and stuff like that. I hate to tell you this, you've probably studied with the wrong teacher, you've probably gone to the wrong jazz camp. And there's probably going to be a legal disclaimer showing up because now I've badmouthed you and your teachers and everything. You probably had a great teacher, you probably went to a just fine jazz camp, but I can't tell you a better one. At any rate, there's so many things out there to practice, and what I'm here to do is try to give you information that gets us really, really specific. And so give this a try. If it doesn't work for you, toss it out. I think it's going to work for you. And by the way, email me at diggingdeeperjazz@gmail.com, and I've got a PDF that goes along with this, and it'll just sort of get you jump started in on this idea. So here's the thing. I actually had a student come in today. Hi, Todd. And we were working on this idea, the bridge of rhythm changes. Just those 4 dominant chords of rhythm changes. You see them up on the screen there. And we were just sort of talking about, how do we connect the chords, and the chords are kind of long, and how do we create a good melody, and all this kind of stuff. And so what we did, so I'm a big fan of looping sections. In other words, take those 8 measures and make them repeat. And so, I've got a software band here that I can do that with. I get them to repeat the same 8 measures. They're not the greatest band, but they're really good at looping 8 measures. So there it is. So what I'm going to do is loop 8 measures of the bridge of rhythm changes. That's going to be sort of our laboratory for the day. Here's our 5-minute workout. What I want you to do is play a half note solo on that. So let me give it a try. And I'll go twice through. And the only rule is I have to play half notes. It's kind of subjective. I thought that was fine. There were some things I liked better. There were 1 or 2 that I didn't love as much, but in my book, that stuff was all fine. You can leave comments and tell me what you didn't like. But that's the idea. So now, just right note-wise, can you do that? That's hard to do. So the PDF that I'm putting up on the screen for a lot of us might be helpful. So I put, there's 5 different lines that you see going by there on the screen of just ideas. It could be anything. The first one is very simple. It's very diatonic, right? I'll tell you what, let me just play through them for you. That'll be easy enough, and you can sort of hear what we're talking about. I didn't necessarily mean them to be played in order, but let's see what happens. Okay, so just to give you some ideas, some of us may be stuck with this particular shape or that particular shape. We always play flat nines, but we never play sharp 11s, whatever. If that's a good point of departure for you, great. If this idea is new to you, that may get you jump started. So there's sort of two goals here. Goal number one is, can you just play some right notes? Can we play right notes? So for some of us, that's easy enough. Now, can you play a compelling melody? Like play a really brilliant sounding couple, 16 measures, however many measures of half notes. I can think of Coltrane solos and John Scofield solos and Joe Henderson solos where they do that. They start slow. And it's amazing what they do with half notes, right? So that's the goal. Now, 8 measures, how long did it take me to get through that? Was that 6 or 8 seconds? Maybe, I don't know, 10 seconds? The point is, if you've got 5 minutes, you could go through that a lot of times, right? And we have a specific goal of what we're after. It's amazing. So now, but here's the next thing. So that's, step number 1 is just do that, okay? So now I'm challenging you. I want you to go through and do that 15 or 20 times. And in that amount of time, you should get bored a couple times. You'll be cursing my name. It's Jeff. Pronounce it correctly, please, when you curse my name. You'll be cursing my name like, God, half notes. Oh, this sucks. I want to syncopate something. No. Think about resolutions, right? So I'm gonna, let me do another one. I'm just gonna improvise a bit this time. I'm not playing anything from the sheet, so I'm just gonna do more half notes, and I'm gonna sort of push things a little bit. See if I can get creative or outside the key, but still make it sound okay. Again, that's subjective. What sounds good to me after playing jazz for 30 years may sound a little crunchy to someone who's new to this, or it may sound boring to somebody whose sense of harmony is further amped up than mine. Here we go. What you're saying, those weren't half notes. And that's the second part of the exercise. So do half notes, half notes, half notes, half notes 20 times through to the point where you're comfortable, you're hearing things. You've realized that, oh, when I approach a target note by a half step, that usually sounds good. You'll come up with all these little ideas. That's a little thing that I know for me. I don't care if you know that or if it works for you or not. That's something I discovered for me. That's part of my sound, right? You're going to discover your own thing. So you do that over and over and over again, and then slowly start improvising a bit. Not too much. The goal is still, I was still hearing half notes in my head, but I started playing around them. And sure, that's, a guy who's been playing jazz for 30 or 40 years. I hope that sounded good to you. I kind of liked it. And we'll all be at the different level, but that's the thing. So you go through 20, 30 times playing half notes on whatever the loop is. I'm using the bridge of rhythm changes. It could be the first 8 measures of blue bossa. It could be anything, right? And then slowly start improvising. And we're sneaking up on it, right? So you've worked a lot on voice leading, whether you knew it or not. As you were trying to put together decent half note solo, you were thinking about voice leading. Perhaps you were thinking about developing a shape. Perhaps you were thinking about interesting shapes. Perhaps you were thinking about smooth shapes. I don't care what you were thinking about. You were thinking, right? That's what I want to do. When we have 5 minutes to practice, we can wiggle our fingers and practice scales and try to get, 1/1000th of a percent more fluid. No, that's a bad idea if you have 5 minutes. How about if you get your brain engaged? How about if you think about music? How about if you get yourself hearing music? That's a good way to spend 5 minutes. Seriously, try this, okay? You've listened this far, you may as well try it. So, do this. And for 5 minutes, right? So go through half notes, half notes, half notes, then start slowly improvise. Then improvise a little more. I think you'll be really surprised at how these chords start connecting or how you're playing and hearing melodies. You're hearing things before you play them, not just wiggling your fingers hoping you land on a right note. And I'm not just talking to amateurs and beginners here. I have grad students who use the wiggle the fingers approach. Plenty, right? So give this a try. 5-minute jazz abs. This will do nothing for your abs, but it's gonna make you sound better. And see, I didn't even pull up my shirt. Perfect. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. As I said, please email me at diggingdeeperjazz@gmail.com. I'll send you the PDF. Might be a cool, interesting point of departure for you. And remember, the first thing we decided is just what's our little loop gonna be? Smaller is better. I chose 8 measures. I wouldn't say longer than that. It could be anything, right? So give it a try. I think you're going to enjoy it. And I think I'm going to be your hero because you're going to really like this and you're going to start sounding better. So send me an email. Let me know I'm your hero, okay? Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.